Well, the global problem of credit card debt is now at endemic proportions. The current, as an example, United States credit card debt is $860 billion. Australia's $50 billion. England and every other country throughout the world has massive personal credit card debt problems, and it just keeps growing. There are quite a number of organisations, governments, that have thrown plenty of money at literacy sites to try and stem the problem.
Yeah, and I guess when they're throwing money at it, they're not really attacking the cause of the individual's problem. So essentially, by throwing more money at it, they may get some solutions, but the solutions don't seem to be coming fast enough because the debt continues to grow in those countries.
So then it gets to a stage of people just doing and keep doing the same things all the time. The banks send out letters saying, here, you can have a credit card now that you've got a job. When you get a credit card of $2,000, sure as eggs, in the next 6 months you'll get another letter from the bank saying, you've been a good customer of ours, we will now send you an increase on your credit card. It could be $5,000, it could be $10,000, it depends on the type of job you have as to how they increase the limit. And a big percentage of those people take up that credit card limit.
And it's also in the financier or the bank's interest to continue to supply that money because that's their job. The difficulty or the unfortunate part is that they don't actually supply an education about money and or how to utilise money to your best advantage.
Yeah, so it's just keeps growing and growing and growing. So what we have found and established is that in our experience, and I've interviewed hundreds of people, my experience has been in mortgages, finance for the last 30 years. I've looked at this rather thoroughly, and it just shows that people are just not getting it. All they do is get money and spend it, get money and spend it, and get money and spend it. And it's growing and growing and growing. So we had to sit down and say, because I've been in this industry, I want to see that something's got to be done. Something's got to be done. Otherwise, in 10 years' time, it will break the world. I mean, this has been noted as being, the credit card debt, personal credit card debt, has been noted as being a problem as far as the GFC is concerned. It helped contribute to it greatly.
Yeah, the world and the economies in which we live essentially is based around consumerism, and consumerism requires funding. And so some people, at the end of the day, will always spend more than what they make. And because they spend more than what they make, and I don't know if this is relating to a lot of people, but if they're spending more than what they're making, they will forever be looking for credit.
So what we've done is sit down, and we've been working on this for the last 10 years. Louis' experience is a little different to mine, and we've combined to put together a program that I've been working on, and I would have put this together to send to schools. Excuse me, but because it's global, putting it into schools of any description is only just addressing a small group of people. The fact that the internet has come along, the fact that mobile phones, iPads, computers of any description is now at our reach, everyone's reach, then we now can do something that can make a difference. In my experience, what I've found is that when being in the mortgage industry, you're constantly going out and talking to people about, one, getting a mortgage for their house, two, when you look at their financials, be it they have personal loans, car loans, credit cards, and when they get to a situation where they find they're spending too much, they get another credit card. So one builds on top of the other. When we have sat with these people and gone over what they've been doing to give them a different understanding and help them get back on track, what we were finding is these people were ringing us on a weekly basis and saying, what do you think I should do here and what do you think I should do there? So what I have done, what Louis has done in sitting with people has been successful. Successful to the point where we know that it has to change in the mind to get people to think differently about where their money's going, rather than here's the money, go out and spend it, because it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Okay, so I guess, and I'll touch, this is in the program as well, so I'll touch a little bit on that. There are two things that make people, I guess, take action or do things, right? One is resonance and the other one's relevance, okay? And in our program, we touch on those very heavily, okay? So for example, if you want to take action on anything, things must first of all be relevant for you, and secondly, they must resonate with you, so it must come from within. If it doesn't do that, right, guess what? You'll continue to do the same old things. So to make any change, okay, and in our case, what we're talking about is a change about how you think about money, okay, and how you think about money and credit and how you spend it, okay? We have to pull those two things together. And once those two things are pulled together, that's when you'll take the necessary action to make a difference or a change. Now, what we're talking about now is some education for people about money and some education about their self-thinking. Okay, so if they don't recognise those, they'll continue along the same path and end up with the same result anyway.
It does, absolutely. I've spoken to psychologists, psychiatrists, and asked them about what and why people develop habits. I personally know how habits have formed. I'm a golf coach. I teach and have taught golf quite successfully, and it's all a mental game. A person might have a good swing, but unless they take away all of the negatives out of their mind, then the positives don't stand up and allow them to play better. I've had some people that have had extraordinary changes in their handicap to realise and understand that it is about how they think around a golf course rather than what they do. The same comes from money, and the same comes from everything you do. It's just habit forming. And psychologists have said if you can get a person to change their habits, it takes a long time. It takes a long time. What we have to do is replace what they've got now and give them something else to think about. And what we, in our program, that's what it's designed to do, is to get you to think positively and train you to think about money in a better way.